Hello, everyone, and welcome to a mini-sode of the Midnight Movie Cowboys. It's just Hunter and Stuart, the OG crew. I just hit my mic. Sorry about that. And we are talking about an album. We are talking about the new record by Ghost, Impera. Yeah, I got my vinyl. I didn't bring it in here, but I have it on vinyl.
I figured. Did yours come with a little explicit to let you know it's got a dirty word on there?
No, it didn't. It didn't. I don't think anybody cares anymore. Although, it's probably I think it should come with one for the Catholic crowd like myself.
Yeah.
But I gotta say though, speaking of explicit, okay, Tobias Forgum, the guy who is Ghost, Papa Emeritus, not good at cursing, I must say.
No, first time ever on a Ghost album, and it's it doesn't.
It made me cringe. You know the meme of the guy like taking his headphones off. That's me during that song.
But before we get into this review, message from the clergy. Someone has been listening to a hard rock band from the 80s, and I will tell you who exactly I think it is.
Okay.
It's not who you think it is. Yep. All right, so let's get into this.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, Stu. Have you been a fan of Ghost since the beginning, like I have?
No, I got when prequel hit, so I was a bit late to the party.
Okay, because I bought their first record when it was the newest thing, and I bought it just because I thought the cover art looked cool. Yeah. I saw it on like a coolest album covers of the year, and I went, that looks like Merciful Fate. So I bought it, and I went, this doesn't sound like Merciful Fate. It sounds like Blue. I mean, it a little bit, but it sounds like Blue Oyster Cult.
It does. Yeah, it's strange to sort of pigeonhole them as a sound because they're not a particular sound that you can say, well, they sound like Metallica, or they sound like Kiss, or they sound like Blue Oyster Cult, or they sound like Foghat, whatever. I
think people expect them to sound like Mayhem or Emperor or something.
Oh yeah,
because I remember when Infestassimum, the second record, came out. That was when they really started to get popular, and I remember metal fans really pushing back and kind of going, this is not what I expected. Like, they kind of feel tricked, they kind of feel duped. They're like, I think I'm signing up for, Dark Throne, and I'm getting Scooby-Doo music.
You've been hoodwinked.
Yeah.
You've been hoodwinked.
Yeah, but I liked it though, but I remember Metallica taking them out and Lars Ulrich saying, "Oh, this is a breath of fresh air. This is a great band," and they were really getting promoted by the biggest bands in the metal scene. And by biggest, I don't mean Slayer and Megadeth. I mean Metallica.
No.
The big four, it's BS. It's the big one and like the little three.
Even the big four is contentious. I mean, there's a band there I would never put in there, but
right? Yeah. What, Anthrax?
Yeah.
And
that's not for a dislike them. They're just so. There's the box of other three, and there's Anthrax sort of standing way over to the side. You think they don't fit. Exodus would have been the obvious choice.
I think in '88 you could have said Anthrax was in there, but they had, when John Bush joined, they were really going into the stratosphere, and then they had like a bunch of random crap happen that totally popped the balloon, and they became a non-entity for a long time. Like they had Stomp 442, which the label buried, and then Volume 8, The Threat Is Real, which didn't even come out for a long time. And We've Come For Your Wall was the comeback, but the juice from Sound of White Noise was gone.
It was long. Long. The air had been let to tire a long time ago for Anthrax.
But Ghost, I've kept up with them their whole career, and I think they've gotten bigger. They've sounded more like ABBA mixed with Black Sabbath over the years.
There's definitely the ABBA vibe going on.
Because I remember that they covered they covered ABBA's "I'm a Marionette" back on the "If You Have Ghost" EP, which Dave Grohl played drums on.
Plays drums and everything. I mean, you get a local band down the road who's got Dave Grohl on drums.
Yeah, Dave Grohl will show up. He'll be like, "Hey guys, what's going on? Let's play drums."
Yeah. Sorry, we ripped off your riff for one of our biggest songs. I'll play drums on your album just to sort of,
exactly.
Yep. But they cover it. They actually cover really obscure songs. Well, not so much obscure song, but bands you think they wouldn't cover with "It's Sin," which is on the prequel deluxe that I've got by Pet Shop Boys. You think, wow, what a strange song to cover. Good version. And actually a good song if you're into that sort of thing, which I am mildly, not a great deal. But they do a lot of justice to the song. So the what's that guy, Rocky Erickson?
They did Rocky Erickson, yeah. I saw him live before he died, actually.
Yeah, remember you saying that on our episode about him, our Rock Month. Oh, that was a stretch of the imagination from a while back. Rock Month. Yeah, what's this kind of like a little mini Rock Month episode we're doing? Getting the shakes. We haven't done it for a few years, so
we always end up doing something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, doing Pet Shop Boys, they've done ABBA, they've done Rocky Erickson, they've done Echo and the Bunnymen, with Nocturnal Me. I'm trying to think. Oh well, they did the Beatles with "Here Comes the Sun."
Here Comes the Sun, yeah, the bonus track on the first album.
And I'm trying to think what else they've done quite a few though. That whole "If You Have Ghost" EP is all covers.
And so is most of Popestar, except for the first Square Hammer song.
Yes, which is a great song.
Yeah, the song that basically sort of launched this new phase of Ghost, you may say.
Yeah.
This new poppiest style of Ghost. Let me ask you a question before we jump into this. What do you prefer, the older style sound of Ghost or the newer?
The newer.
Poppier one. Yeah,
new pop sound. I think they've gotten better and better as they've gone on. No, they did Eurythmics, Missionary Man.
Oh, that's right. Yes, they did too.
Impera, Simian Mobile Disco.
Yeah.
On Popestar, let me see here. Meliora, If You Have Ghost. They did Army of Lovers. Oh yes, Depeche Mode, Waiting for the Night.
Yeah, see obscure tracks to pick.
Yeah, they pick deep cuts, which is cool. Like their cover of Nocturnal Me made me a fan of that song by Echo and the Bunnymen.
Yeah. Haven't heard the Echo and the Bunnymen version, but I do like the Ghost cover for sure.
Yeah.
But if you think they've gone deep cuts with those bands, wait till I reveal. And I haven't got some sort of inside knowledge, obviously, but boy, oh boy, have they picked a band that no one would have expected that they absolutely us emulating with this album.
I'm curious to see what you think it is because I have no idea.
I will tell you for a fact I know what it is. Not for a fact. I'm telling you, hand on heart, dead on, it is this band. Because when I heard this album, I've heard it twice now. When I heard the first time, I said, no way. And I went back and listened to this band. And I said, oh shit. What a genius. He's picked a band that no one would have picked that he sounded like, in my opinion. I might be, to be honest, maybe listen to this going, you're wrong. But I'm telling you now, I'm not. I will stand by what I say. So, yeah, that's that.
Well, I can't wait to hear who it is. Well, do you want to go through this track by track, or how do you want to do it? Track by track?
Let's go track by track, mate.
All right. So first track is Imperium. It's just an intro track. That brings us to...
We've got 3 of those on this album.
Yeah, there's a few. That's kind of typical of Ghost to have a few interlude tracks. Like Prequel had a few of those.
Yeah.
But so Imperium, and then it leads us into Kaiserion, which kind of sounds like a Kaiser, like it sounds like a Kaiser empire. You know, it's I was looking up the word and I couldn't find it, but it seemed to be like a kind of a German empire, you know.
This is the one song when I first heard it, I said, it's not grabbing me. It's something about it. I like it a lot more the second time around, but man, if you go back and hear those vocals, they tell me they don't sound like Weird Al. They sound like Weird Al doing a metal song or a hard rock.
They've got the like the big high pitched scream at the beginning, like an 80s metal.
Yeah,
you know,
that was a nice surprise when I heard that. I thought, oh, like a typical 80s metal hard rock album.
Yeah,
they usually start with a high scream.
Yeah, you got, it's kind of like, you know, like Slayer's Angel of Death or something. You know?
Yeah,
but it's not Slayer sounding. It's much more pop.
Yeah, it's like a Skid Row style one.
More like Sebastian Bach than Mariah.
Yeah, definitely. But I like the song quite a bit.
I like it quite a bit. It has some it has some lyrics that annoy me. It's the sound of the righteous dogma that hides the Handmaid's Tale. It's Handmaid's Tale is one of the like 3 books that people on the left have read or claim to have read or know anything about, and just like a reference to Handmaid's Tale, I'm like, you know, that just like sours me. Just puts me in a bad mood because it's just it's cheap. It's a literary reference that's so basic. Like, okay, what are we gonna do, a song about Harry Potter next? You know, you want to do a song about Harry Potter, we can do a song about maybe we can do a George Orwell reference. I mean, I don't know, just saying.
Yeah, but
other than that, it's a solid song. I can hum it in my head. When I heard it, it grabbed me. It's good stuff.
It's sort of like with a motorbike. It's like the rev before you hit the rubber really hits the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the next song is Spillways.
This is where the album really kicks off.
I love this song.
Yeah,
I love. This is the perfect marriage of Black Sabbath / Blue Oyster Cult and ABBA that I've been describing Ghost as.
Yeah.
Perfect pop hooks. I don't know. I mean, Stu, you obviously.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with you. I agree. I heard this. I thought, here we go. We're off to the races.
When I heard it, I went. I immediately, like, when those keyboards hit and the vocals and the drums, I just went, okay, this is it.
He's looking for that next Dance Macabre, and he's certainly got a few of them on here. I think he's. Is he writing? I should have really checked, but is he writing with the same guy who was on those sort of popular tracks with Prequel?
He wrote this song with Joachim Berg.
Right.
And I don't seem to know if this is, one second. I can't really.
He wrote Dance Macabre with that guy. He's very famous and he's in the country that he's in. He's kind of like a Desmond Child pop maker.
Okay. So I'm looking at Dance Macabre. I don't see that guy's name.
Okay.
I see him with Fred Vincent Pontar and Lars Salim Al Fakir.
Okay. It might be the guy who did the other song on there, that popular one.
But the guy Al Fakir collaborated with like Avicii and stuff like that. That's like, you know, Madonna.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. But for me, absolutely love the song.
Yeah.
You know, hooks, and more hooks.
Absolutely.
Yep.
No, this song.
This song 3, which is really the second full song, but song 3 of this one goes on this huge run of just one great song after the other.
Okay, you know what? I screwed up. Joachim Berg collaborated on Kaiserion. It's Salim Al Fakir and Vincent Potare on this.
That's him.
So there you go. Yeah, that's it.
That's the guy. Yeah.
Sorry, everybody's screaming at home that I'm screwed it up. Yes, but correction. It's the same people who wrote Spillways with Tobias Fargum.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So both an agreement that's a winner, that track.
All right, next is Call Me Little Sunshine, which was one of the singles they led with for this movie. I mean this album.
Now you heard this when it dropped, didn't you?
Yes.
I heard half. I thought I just want to hear a bit. I want to, because I made the mistake with the Darkness last album, Motorheart, which I buy it because it's a classic.
Yeah, it's great.
Of hearing each song they dropped, I said, "Oh shit!" I'm starting to get into nearly hearing half this album because they were dropping songs like
they had a lot of singles on that one that came out before it dropped.
And I got to, I think, the third one that they dropped. I said, "Stop," because you just they're gonna keep going, and you're gonna hear nearly everything. I want to experience it.
And sometimes when you get like 4 or 5 killer singles like that, the rest of the album sucks.
Yeah, it's filler. Yeah, but luckily with Motorheart, that was not the case. There was a lot of sort of deeper cuts on there that were just as good as the stuff they released.
So Motorheart really made up for Easter's canceled, which were Easter, and Easter is certainly not canceled. So,
no. But so I didn't want to make that mistake with this one because, as you know, you and I are both really looking forward to this new Ghost album coming out. Yeah. And I said, right, I'm going to hear a bit of this Little Miss Sunshine. I heard a couple of minutes, and that's it. Turned it off. Said, okay, it's the Ghost sound I'm wanting. They're carrying on with that poppier sound they did with Prequel and the 7 Inches of Satanic Panic single. So it looks like we're heading back in this direction, but also had that little hint of the Meliora sound, that darker sound.
Yeah. Yeah, this one sounds like it could be off Meliora, stuff like Cerise and From the Pinnacle to the Pit. It's a little bit of the heavier old Ghost. Lyrically, I am a little bit like, okay, it's another song about Satan. that's what you get with the Call Me Little Sunshine. Okay, it's Lucifer. All right.
But Ghost aren't really the sort of band who are really sort of scrutinized lyrically.
No.
The music's so good that the lyrics sort of kind of take a back seat.
It's funny, like my wife is a really big fan of Ghost's music. And then when she sees them dressed up, she goes, "Why do they look like that?"
That's the whole thing. Why do they? Because they want people talking about them.
And I tell her, I go, that's why metalheads, they feel betrayed when they see them and then they hear them. You hear them and you go, boy, this is great music. And then you see them and you go, that looks like Marilyn Manson. What's going on?
That's right. Actually, like with Slipknot, you look at Slipknot, they sound like they look.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't sound like they look.
No. And so she sees them performing on some late night talk show and she goes, I have questions,
Yeah.
Why is he
I enjoy this song. I like this Little Miss Sunshine.
It's really catchy. It's really catchy.
Yeah.
Little Sunshine. The next song, Hunter's Moon, Chef's Kiss.
Yes. You own the 7-inch, don't you, of it?
Oh, yes. With the John Carpenter Halloween theme on the other side.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it's a Ghost John Carpenter split.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. This song was released. It came out before the album was announced because it was released as part of the Halloween Kills soundtrack. And let me tell you, it is the only good thing about Halloween Kills because the movie sucks.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it.
Oh, I like the one before it more than Jean, which I didn't like it, but I liked it more than, there were parts of it I liked. This new one, the soundtrack is like the only thing it has.
That's it.
Yeah. The scene where Michael kills all the firefighters is kind of cool, but that's about it,
That was the sort of premium piece that they were going to show you in the trailer.
Yes.
Go, oh man, look at Michael's gone berserk. Who cares?
Yeah. But other than that, it's a bunch of actors from the first movie who are so old and just look miserable, and Michael Anthony Hall running around saying evil dies nice, piece of crap. But this song,
fire.
I love Hunter's Moon. I think it's probably my favorite track on the album. It's
okay.
That and Spillways are, I think the two top pieces. But yeah, this song, when it came out, I was addicted to it the way I was addicted to the way I was addicted to Dance Macabre, the way I was addicted to Cerise. Those are all songs that
Square Hammer.
Yeah, Square Hammer. I was addicted to Square Hammer.
Yeah.
That Ghost has consistently had a single that I couldn't stop listening to. This and Spillways are two that, were just on repeat,
Yep.
Listen to a lot.
This is where as well, during the album, I thought, all right, we're going to get more of the poppier stuff than we are the heavier, darker stuff. Because Prequel was a darker album because it dealt with a darker theme of the bubonic plague. So it was a darker sounding album, but still had those, pop eccentricities running throughout. Whereas this one's way more pop, hard rockish. So, yep, Hunter's Moon is a thumbs up.
Yep. And this one was not written. That one was not written with Alpha Kieran Pontare, but the next few songs were, such as Watcher in the Sky.
You don't say.
Yeah. That one is that's a heavier one. It sounds like it could come from Cerise. It's very big,
Right. So
kind of visualizes Metropolis a little bit in my head.
Yeah. This is the song, as I was listening to it the first time, I said, oh no, I know who he's been listening to. And I thought, okay, it might be a one-off because Spillways had the sound. Watcher in the Sky definitely had that sound in this band. And I'll get to it very shortly because he does it again. I thought this cannot happen 3 times on an album, 3 or 4 times that he sounds like this band. But when I heard this song and I went back and heard the band I'm about to reveal to you, I said, it is too much of a coincidence to be uncanny. Too much.
Well, the next song is Dominion, and that one's another kind of
it should throw
transition. Transition track.
It really could have been attached to 20s as one thing.
Which 20s?
I like it.
I don't like it that much. I don't hate it, but I think Tobias, he's not very good at cursing, and the lyrics are kind of silly. Like they kind of make me roll my eyes. Like we're gonna be grabbing them all by the hoo-ha.
Yeah, it's the weakest song on the album.
Yeah,
for sure. But I do like it. As I said, I do like it.
It has, I think, in the 20s, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But as far as the songs go, I think it's one of the weaker pieces.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is the weakest one, but it's not a track where you think I've got to skip it. It's not that.
No. In fact, I remember when it dropped, I listened to it a few times because I was like, do I like it? Do I not like it? I don't, but it wasn't completely repulsive. But when he's like, listen up.
Yeah. It's, you think,
he doesn't need. Yeah, he is a singer. I do not recommend you curse. It's kind of.
He's not. He's not Busta Rhymes. We need to say an F-bomb 300 times in a 5-minute song.
It's like, oh yeah, this is heavy.
Yeah. I'm sure it was just there for a little bit of shock because Ghost never dropped an F-bomb on an album, but I don't think it was something he'd be doing very often, if probably ever again.
Well, the next song is again Forcham with Al Fakir and Pontare, which is Darkness at the Heart of My Love.
Yeah. It's another one that grew on me. The 20s and this track is the little speed bump, just a little speed bump in the album where it before it picks up again towards the end. But it's a good song. It's boy, what does it sound like in terms of the other sort of Pantheon of Ghost songs? Hard to say.
It's kind of one of their slower, more ballady. kind of tracks.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Again, it's not a skip. It's definitely a listen. It's just one of those ones that'll grow on me. Probably this one will grow on me, need to grow on me the most. 20s, I do like just a tad more.
I think this one sounds like it's kind of like the last song on Meliora. That
And
one
the
has a
last
few
one on
songs
prequel,
like
actually. Yeah, the last one
Yeah.
on prequel where it goes, "Do you see me fall?" or whatever, something. I forgot
Yeah,
the line,
yes. It reminds me of that song too. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that genre of ghost song.
Mm.
Forever,
No, it's kind of similar to.
forever.
But yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one. So yeah, it's along that sort of line, which I do like that song as well. It's kind of like with The Darkness, where it's always the last song is a slow song.
So the next one is Griftwood.
Right.
And this one has a real ABBA kind of influence.
Okay.
And
now, this is where I got to where I said, "Son of a bitch." I know who he's been listening to. All right. Is it Bon Jovi? No, it's not. Def Leppard? No. Who the hell has he been listening to? And I said, holy shit. There was a band back in the mid 80s and early 90s called Treat, who were out of Sweden, who were a hard rock band. And I'll be damned if he wasn't listening to Treat. Because if you go back and listen to albums like Scratch and Bite and Dream Hunter, this is like a missing Treat album. I'm not kidding.
That sounds vocally, that tracks. Yeah.
Vocally, he doesn't sound like the singer from Treat. Musically, it's ridiculous. It just sounds like them. So
you know who he wrote this song with, though? Peter Svensson from the Cardigans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know the Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. And I really like them. But...
And a guy named Klaus Alland, who has worked with Robin, Jordan Sparks, Kylie Minogue, Britney Spears, Katy Perry, Madonna.
Yeah. he's got no care factor about grabbing pop, like Stock Aitken Waterman type writers and putting into ghost music, which I really like.
I like it too, and that's the reason he wins Grammys.
Yeah, this is he'll win more with this one.
Oh yeah, but I just remember him winning for Cerise and them coming up in full regalia.
Yeah,
this is a very big deal for us.
Yeah.
But kind of embedding yourself with pop music producers and royalty, and then at shows they they did a cover of Enter Sandman.
He does the piano, sort of slower piano intro.
Yeah, it has the slow build up.
It's interesting. Yeah.
I'll
tell you the best version of Enter Sandman though was there's that new Metallica release or new release of bands covering Metallica's thing. I think it's
which they were on.
Yeah, they were on. But actually, Weezer did Enter Sandman, and it was kick ass.
Yeah, it was pretty bang on. You know what? You know what my favorite cover on there was?
What?
Idols, The God That Failed.
Idols.
IDLES, The God That Failed. Listen to their cover, The God That Failed. It is awesome.
Oh, really?
They take that song and they make it their own, and it is scary. It is so good. It made my hair stand up. I was going, whoa. Oh, wow. It blew my hair back. I had students telling me, you got to check out Idols. You got to check out Idols. You got to check out Idols. And I was like, yeah, I'll get around to it. And then I heard that cover and I went, okay, you have my attention.
There's a lot of songs on that Black album, and more in particular the Load album, Load Reload. Whilst the Black album sold about 25 trillion copies, Load and Reload were sort of shunned, and people said, no, ain't the Metallica I grew up with. It certainly wasn't the one I grew up with from 85 onwards, but there's a lot of songs on there that are right for the picking for other bands to take and do
Yeah, and that's what Idols did with God That Failed. They took a song that I was like, okay, take it or leave it,
Yeah.
and they made it sounds like, if you go listen to their stuff, it sounds like them
Right.
and their style, and it gets your attention. It's like kind of grabs you by the collar and pulls you up. Go listen
Hmm.
to it after we're done recording. It's
No, I will.
it's heavy, and they're
Yeah.
not a metal, but they're like kind of more like post hardcore or something, but it just
Hmm.
it made my hair stand up. When I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, I was listening to it over and over again.
And there's a song on Load that no one really bothers with. It's called 2x4.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's one of the better ones on there, but
yeah, it
obviously
is.
Metallica don't play it live, not that I remember, but not these days anyway. Um Again, another song that's available there for a band to grab and make their own.
Yeah, there's a lot of solid songwriting on those records that, just isn't right for them,
Hmm.
but you could take and make something cool out of.
Yeah, definitely.
So the next song on here is another kind of transitory one. We have Bite of Passage,
Hmm.
which is a passage.
Hmm.
And then we go
Literally, what was
to,
it, about 15 seconds, 20 seconds long?
yeah, it says it's 31 seconds, but it
Oh,
it goes so seamlessly into the next song, Respite of the Spital Fields,
yep.
which seems to be a song about you know, Satan thinks he's gonna win and then he doesn't, and
Hmm.
heaven wins or something. It's very odd, because Ghost is a Swedish band, yet Sweden is not a country where there is Catholicism, very much of it. It was a very Protestant country, and the state church was Lutheran. But Ghost is very Catholic in its imagery and the way the lyrics. I mean, when I say Catholic, I don't mean necessarily that it embraces Catholicism. I just mean it takes Catholic tropes. And so I was, I'm always they kind of keep me on my toes where I'm like, what do they think about this stuff? Is this a show? What is it? Because in this, it seems like Satan is the Wizard of Oz, and he's,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, Papa Emeritus is dressed as an archbishop, so
yes, but they have like, Cardinal Copia, and it's all very Roman in the imagery.
which did you hear about what Cardinal Copia actually was? The name, what was it? Was it?
No.
When I heard it, I thought that was genius. He did Cardinal Copia because it was Cardi B and he wanted to be known as Cardi C, so he did Cardinal Copia.
Oh, that's funny. That's
Yeah.
funny. Um, no,
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that humor peppered through Ghost stuff.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not like a comedian telling you a joke and you laugh, or if you Will Smith, you don't laugh. But there's those little sprinkles of comedy, and if you find them, you find them, and they're little gems. If you don't, well, you miss them.
it's like an esoteric Frank Zappa, a little
Frank
bit.
Zappa, someone we'll be speaking about soon, in a few weeks.
Oh yeah, that's
Well,
right. Yeah, we're gonna be doing it's kind of we're not doing Rock Month, but we do that kind of content. Um, but Zappa's content is very humorous, but his is more overt. Ghost is kind of
subtle.
it's not obvious, but it kind of is.
Hmm.
I don't know.
He wants you to find it without broadcasting about it.
Yeah,
You
like,
find it, it's good on you. If you don't, you don't.
I don't think he's asking his audience to take him seriously as some like Anton LaVey figure, like, whereas Marilyn Manson was genuinely trying to shock people. I'm not sure Ghost is, but Ghost takes kind of very inverted Catholic imagery, but it all seems like it's for fun. It doesn't seem serious. That's why I was like, it's Swedish, so like, Catholicism's not really a thing there.
No, Ghost seemed to be a lot more. I'm talking about Tobias seems to be a lot more sharper and smarter about what he does with his music. Besides Manson, who's not a stupid guy, but tends to let things get the better of him.
I think Manson likes drugs, and
yes,
we've
drugs
seen
don't
that's
like
gotten
him. Yeah.
But yeah, Respite on the Spital Fields. What'd you think of this song? 'Cause it's one that I kind of slept on. But when I was getting ready for the show, I listened to it again and I went, this is probably one of the more interesting, not one of the best, but one of the more interesting songs on the album.
Probably the best way to close the album out. You couldn't have closed it out with Griftwood or Watcher in the Sky. It just wouldn't have suited it. They need to be earlier on.
It's a good ending, but like at first, the first few listen throughs, it just kind of missed me.
There are those songs on there that we discussed that are gonna require second, third, fourth, fifth listen before you go,
yeah,
right.
This is one that clicked later for me.
Yeah.
And he wrote it
in my book. There is not a bad song on here. There's not one you go,
I think this is their best album.
Yes, so do I was gonna say I still had Prequel as my favorite until today when I heard this again. I said, nah, this is it. Because this is one I can see. Prequel, I still listen to nearly all of it, except a couple of songs, I think. 4 years in, I still haven't just enjoyed it.
I remember there was a record store I used to go to back when I lived in a different part of Dallas. And part of the reason I used to go there is it's not there anymore. They've moved and it's a location that's out of the way. But there was this dude that worked there who was a huge Ghost fan. And I was a huge, like from the beginning, like, when we both kind of discovered this band at the same time. And he and I, like, he would talk to me about, going to see them live. And he went, man, I saw this guy smoking a cigarette outside the joint. And I went, that's the keyboard player. And I went up to him and I was like, hey, you're a great keyboard player. And he went, oh, thank you very much. And I was like, yes, I got him. Like this guy he had all these theories about Ghost. Like, hey man, we would talk and he would go, I think that, Dave Grohl's playing drums on Meliora. And I think that the whole plan for Papa is for him to, like, have you noticed on the first album, he's like a skull. And then on the next album, it's a little more, and he looks a little more human on Meliora. I think, like, as the album cycles go on, we're going to reveal who he is and we're going to find out.
Well, he looks pretty friggin' awful on the front of this one.
I know, but like we had all these theories about Ghost, about how it was going to be this big reveal and stuff like that, which didn't turn out to be the case. We found out who Tobias was because the band fell apart and there were lawsuits and stuff, and it just couldn't stay out there anymore.
And he knew, okay, trying to keep up the charade of remaining hidden, not in this day. And it's not Kiss with the 70s where they get away with that.
But he did. I know he's basically kind of, his former band members have disputed this, but now he's kind of positioned Ghost to be, this is a project that is, it's like Bathory, where I'm the band.
Yeah.
And the previous band members have disputed that, but I mean, I think at this point,
well, that's like Death on their first album. Like Death Scream Bloody Gore is basically just Chuck Schuldiner.
Yeah,
but there was a couple of guys on there, just stick them on the back of the album. These are the guys, like that guy John Hand, who played guitars or bass or whatever. He wasn't even on there.
Yeah,
he was just random, stick him on the back. Never played. I don't know.
Yep. So, but yeah, I think at this point you can say that Ghost is a Tobias Forgum project. There is no Ghost without it,
No, of course not.
But it was just fun to kind of go, well, we don't know anything about this band, and it kind of made you talk about it. It kind of made you, it was a great marketing scheme.
He's pulled all the right strings over the last 12 years. He's pulled all the right, and like a marionette.
I remember hearing him on Eddie Trunk, and because Eddie, of course, doesn't get Ghost at all, because he can't see past the image, which, but I'm like, Eddie, you like Blue Oyster Cult, you like all this stuff, like you should like this. But he interviewed Tobias, and Tobias was like in death metal bands, and just kind of found this great strategy to take this, really a band with an image that should never be mainstream, and make it mainstream.
No, that's the whole incredible thing, is that they've gone and taken this image where, as you said, should be just singing pages of Kerrang, if it was around, not not on big. I mean, they've been on Rolling Stone. Not the Rolling Stone means
they shouldn't be winning Grammys.
They shouldn't. Nah.
But they are, like I'm seeing rappers going best metal song, Cerise,
Yeah. They are. I really think they should be a lot bigger now. This thing should have gone number one pretty much around the world.
Yeah.
It still hasn't. It's selling well here, I know.
Did you see the sort of album release party video they did, the virtual album release party? No. It's great. The band plays in this kind of crypt, but they shot it on it looks like VHS quality footage, and not like a filter. Like it looks like VHS.
It's on VHS, yeah.
Yeah, and it looks cool. Like they play a few songs off the record, but they got a lot of girls in the band now, doing backing vocals and bass and stuff. It's it kind of adds to the light. It sort of alters the sound a little bit when you
I like that no boundaries mentality of, oh well, we can't do this. I think the words "we cannot do this" don't exist in their vocabulary. Well, let's try it. Either let's try it and see how it goes. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it works, it works.
Yeah.
They don't have these sort of limiting self-limiting beliefs of, oh, if we do that, we're gonna lose 10 guys who are metalheads who eat cold pizza on a Saturday morning. We don't care. They're just, if you drop off because you don't like the sound we're going, well, thanks for coming along anyway. I really like that attitude.
I always like seeing the interviews with metal musicians about the Black Album. And what was it, Dave Lombardo going, and I took that thing and I threw it down the stairs. I hated it. And Alex Skolnick is going, that album's awesome. Anybody who doesn't like that album is high.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. So Stu, what would you give Impera out of 10?
Boy, at the moment it's on 9.5, and it's getting damn close to that 10 because it's still early days for me. I wanted to get this day one when it came out, but I was stuck in damn ISO from the the beer bug, and I was like, oh. So when I was finally ISO period was over, straight down the hi-fi store, down to JV Hi-Fi, picked it up, and there it was on the shelf.
Yeah, I bought the vinyl the day it came out.
I nearly did. I looked at the vinyl. I thought, if it had come with the CD version in there, which some companies are starting to do. I know KK Downing's band, what was it? KK's Priest did that with that Sermons of the Sinner. They released if you bought the vinyl, you got the CD with it. I thought that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good Devin Townsend's label. They put out CDs with their vinyl.
Oh, okay, so I was hoping if Ghost had done that, I would have grabbed the vinyl as well, because the Amazon exclusive, if you will, was a white vinyl. I thought that'd be nice to have. The cover's really cool, but it didn't.
Sometimes when you buy vinyl from Amazon, you get the rip on your Amazon account. But it
didn't say that at all. So
but no, I got the vinyl, and the booklet that comes with the vinyl is big, and it has art for the song. It's very elaborate, which they've done for most of their records, I believe. But
now, do you have all their albums on vinyl, or most, or some?
I believe I have all of them. I might be missing Infestassimum. Just
okay.
I don't have 7 Inches of Satanic Panic. I don't have that one.
I just saw it's back available on Amazon, but it ain't cheap. It's like $32 for a 7.
I missed that one. But but that Kiss the Goat music video is hilarious.
It is fantastic. It is fantastic. It really is. But 4 years we waited. Not disappointed with this one at all.
Yeah, it was a while between records, honestly. Kind of unusual for this group to be that long, but it was worth it. I think
Yes.
I would give it an 8 out of 10, but that could change based on further listening. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's their strongest record yet. You know, most Ghost records, there's like 3 or 4 songs that I'll listen to a lot. But this one, it's mostly strong stuff, you know.
I'd say which song could have appeared on this, but one of the older ones was Year Zero. That's when they really started changing with that song off the second album.
Yeah, I remember they had kind of a shocking music video for that one.
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a pretty, I remember it was a pretty you know, red band music video.
Oh, okay.
I think Vice produced it. I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, that's a good stopping point right there, talking about bloody Vice.
Yeah. But yeah, Impera. Anything to add, Stu, about Impera?
All right. Go listen to it on Spotify. Go give it some love and get yourself some Ghost. Whether you end up liking them, whether you don't, at least listen to them.
If you like heavy metal and Swedish pop music, perfect.
Or just pop music. It doesn't even sound like just Swedish pop.
I mean, because my wife doesn't like heavy metal music and she likes this band a lot. And I like heavy metal music and I like pop music, but I'm not crazy about it. And, you know, it's like, this is a band we can both listen to.
This is a band, I think that, I mean, you know me, I love my metal, I love my disco just as much. And to have a fusion of that, we're not getting disco in this album. We're getting that pop sensibility.
No, but yeah, you can just hear it. Like, if you like, you know, like the Cardigans, there's a guy from the Cardigans working on this record, and that's Swedish pop, you know, that's where
even though they did Black Sabbath's Iron Man, which was a different version. It was it was good.
Yeah. Well, anything you want to add, Stu, before we say goodnight?
No, I think great album, my favorite so far. If it's not, it is literally neck and neck with Prequel. And I can only with more subsequent listens, I can only hear this becoming my absolute favorite. Because there's only those couple of songs that I'm just sitting there. I'm not dubious about them. I'm just getting into them. I'm just catching up to where Ghosts are at by saying, see, you're finally here.
Yeah. 100%. All right.
But a purchase, absolutely essential purchase, or an absolutely essential listen at least. For those of the curious.
Well, go check it out. We both recommend it. And with that, I'm going to say adios.